Hey there, Jeff Manchester, Manchester Music. Welcome. In this series, I'm going over reverb algorithms to help you understand which is which, and hopefully, I want to correct the record too about the best and worst ways to use them, depending on the algorithm that you're working with. And today we're going to talk about Hall Reverb. So Hall or concert hall reverbs are meant to simulate a big square space with a lot of seats, like a church or a ballroom. Hall reverbs have a long propagation time. In other words, it takes the reverberated signal a long time to travel from one point of the simulated hall to another. So please keep drums and percussion away as far as possible from hall reverbs. The returns of a strong transient are really loud and super distracting. I'll show you some examples in a minute. On a vocal, however, a hall reverb can provide a really healthy doubling up of sound, which will make a ballad vocal sound massive. The same goes for horns, pads, violins, and more. So enough talk, let's actually dig into some examples right now. Okay, so we've made it to Hall. I have a number of plugins now that are going to be different from the ones I was showing you in other videos that offer, I think, great sounding Hall algorithms and great presets as well. Starting first with ChromaVerb, and you can find over here, Concert Hall is in Hall, and then you can check out the presets therein. I also have another one in Symphony from Exponential Audio. And a new player here, I have Altiverb XL, Altiverb 7, which sounds great. This is a convolution-based reverb, so impulse responses were taken in rooms around the world and then, brought into this plugin so that you can have a sound that sounds like it's been, in that space in a simulated way. So, what I mentioned at the beginning of this video is still very important because of that return issue that I mentioned. Percussive stuff, really should never be put through a hall reverb. It just sounds really distracting. Those transients coming back, very strong, very annoying. Let me demo the difference between a vocal and a set of drums going through the same hall with ChromaVerb here. So let's start out with this vocal, and I have my aux 1 for bus 1 here going to Chroma, and here comes Brian again. Let's have a listen to the concert hall.
All I want is to love you like there's nothing else on my mind. All I want is to hold you like there's nothing else. All I want is to love you like.
And here, let's have a listen to what drums sound like going to the exact same reverb with the exact same amount, more or less. So to me, it's just boomy and echoey, and there's almost like a ducking going on. Especially as we increase the send amount. It just does not sound good at all. And that's going to be consistent for any reverb I turn on here. So even Altiverb, let's bring this in and have the drums in that space too. This is the Disney Hall at the LA Philharmonic. Before. So it just always sounds boomy and distracting. Just don't do it. Save it for chamber or for plate if you're going to use a drum kit. So now let's go back and let's try a couple other sounds, because there's an interesting thing that halls do, which I also mentioned at the beginning of the video, and that's that they tend to double up the sound in a way so they can make something like a vocal or a simple mono instrument really sound big and wide. So let's try the saxophone again, and this time let's send it to Altiverb as well. So let's bring this in. Now here it is with that reverb. Let me just bring in Altiverb so you can see the UI. Let's try it with Symphony, which I think sounds really, really awesome. Fat Vintage Hall is the preset that I have. And with ChromaVerb. I think with that one, that was the most, doubling up I think we had. I think it's because the decay is a little on the shorter side. So big, doubled up, thick. That sounds nice too. Another place I think halls really shine is on pads. So here we have a pad. I'll bring this all the way back and have a listen to what this sounds like just on its own. And now let's introduce it to this Hall Reverb. Really lush, really big. Let's try it in Symphony. Before? Gorgeous. I tried to find the driest pad that I could that had nothing on it. Let's try one more example through all these guys. Now that we're here, let's try cello. And again, remember what I said, unlike plate, these offer, I think, the most realistic environments that you can, simulate with a reverb plugin. So these really do sound like they're coming from a hall that you might be in watching a recital or something like that. So let's do cello, which we'll just stay consistent and do before and afters here. So let's bring it in. Just didn't want to talk as the tail was decaying there. Let's try it with Altiverb in the Disney Hall. Finally, ChromaVerb. I want to try and make it a more fair comparison and just bring the distance back a little bit. Without it. So one of the interesting things here before we wrap up is I'm using some pretty varied price point reverbs. Altiverb is very expensive. I think it's around $500 or $600. This ChromaVerb sounds really great, and it comes with your DAW. As long as you know what you're doing with your tools, you can get great sound out of them, and you can use factory stuff as well and fool people. Like I said, reverbs are so good in a digital audio workstation. And for a lot of people, because they're going to, run hot on compressors and stuff from third-party companies, they'll usually just kind of use some factory reverbs that come with their DAW, because they know that they can kind of save some money, so to speak, on CPU and get great results. But to wrap up, Halls are amazing if you never put them on drums or percussive stuff, because the returns are just unbearable. And they sound great on a lot of other stuff, and they're very realistic sounding, just like a chamber reverb and unlike a plate. So I think that'll about do it. Let's see each other on the other side. Thanks so much for watching. Check out another video I did in this series on plate reverb. I also did one on chamber reverb. And that concludes this series on Manchester Music. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.